Unison Audio spends a lot of money trying to convince producers that these plugins will change your music, so I got all 6 of them and I tried them out to see if they are actually worth using. Whether you like Unison Audio or not, we can probably all agree that they're great at marketing, but the question is, are their plugins actually good? That's what we're here to find out today. I spent the last week testing them, and we're going to be ranking them from S tier to F tier, and by the end of this video, you're going to know which ones are worth your money and which ones are definitely not. Let's get into it. All right, the first one we're going to rank is the 808 machine. It is an 808 generator. You can choose different styles between dirty, lo-fi, unique, aggressive, clean, and then you just pull this handle here, and it generates a sample. What I think about this plugin, it's okay. It makes some decent sounds. It doesn't make anything that comes like right out of it that sounds like perfect, ready to go. I don't feel like it's definitely going to take some tweaking after the fact, which isn't a completely bad thing. I don't want an AI plugin doing all the work for me. I want to have some creative control, and it does allow you to come in here and adjust all these different things to tweak it to your liking, and then you can also do, you know, more processing after the fact. So with that all considered, I'm going to place the 808 machine in the B tier. The reason why I'm going B tier is I think it's a usable plugin. I don't think it's the greatest plugin for designing 808s. I would much rather use Sublab XL or just use Serum or something like that. It's a unique way to come up with different 808s. It might be a cool way to, you know, just find different starting points. But it's definitely not my go-to, and I probably will not be using it in the future. The next one we're going to look at is Bass Dragon. Now, Bass Dragon was a pretty big disappointment for me. You can choose your genre. You can see we have hip-hop and rap 808, hip-hop and rap bass, and then we have UK drill and grime down here. Trap is not like hip-hop trap. It's like EDM trap. So keep that in mind when you're using these Unison plugins. Trap, they're talking about EDM style trap, not hip hop trap. So that's kind of a gripe I have across all their plugins, is hip hop and rap is condensed into this one genre, and there's so many different subgenres like West Coast, Southern trap, ATL trap, Memphis style hip hop, and then you got the boom bap hip hop, and it's all just shoved into this one model. You're not going to be able to hit all those subgenres with it at all. Drill is the only one that kind of broke out into its own category. So I would like to see more hip-hop and rap subgenres available here. Maybe this works better for some of these other genres, but for hip-hop and rap, I didn't find it that great. We can just generate one real quick. Alright, for some reason I'm only playing one bar right now. I don't know why that is, but the sounds in here, not very good. The patterns it comes up with, not very good. So for that reason, it is going down in the F tier. The next plugin we're going to look at is Chord Genie. So in Chord Genie, you just pick your key, 4 bars, 8 bars, and then you can generate, and it'll make you a new progression, and you can change the length of these different chords, change up the pattern, and that's really about it. Then you can drag and drop the MIDI onto whatever instrument you're wanting. It's cool. I don't think it's like the best chord generator. I really wish, and maybe there's a way and I'm just not seeing it, that I could lock the first like 3 chords, and then if I don't like the 4th chord, generate a new one right there. It does let you select a new chord, but it doesn't like just generate a different chord for you. Like, I'm pretty sure if you use the FL chord generator, you can lock like the first 3 chords and then change the last 2 and stuff like that. That should definitely be a feature in here. It's not. And with all that considered, I'm going to put it in the C tier. Chord generator is nothing new. It's nothing that fancy. And I don't think this is the best one. It's not bad by any means, but, you know, if you're looking at adding a plugin to your lineup, it should be something that's better than what you already have. And if you're an FL, you have the chord generator, it can do everything that this is doing, and just as well. So let's move on to the next one. All right, our next plugin we're looking at is Drum Monkey, and this is a drum generation plugin. So again, like Bass Dragon, you have the option to pick all these different genres. So let's just go with hip hop rap, 8 bars, generate, and it'll give you a pattern. Now, what I like that they did in here, that like they didn't have enough options in the Chord Genie, was you can just change individual elements. So say, not a big fan of that close hi-hat, let's regenerate it. So I can just change the sound, leaving the pattern the same. Change the kick. And then if at any time you want to lock things, like I could lock these 3 sounds, lock that one too, I could generate a whole new pattern, but I kept those sounds. Only the rim changed, the clap, and the patterns. And I could also come down here, lock any of these that I wanted. This one, I felt like the patterns it generates is pretty good. We can even add another element here. So let's just lock everything and then generate this and see what we get. Okay, for some reason it's not generating. Alright, so that seems to be a little bit busted. I'm not sure why it's not generating one here, but we can just click here and generate that pattern. So you can regenerate the individual patterns as well. I'm not sure why this button doesn't do it. That might be a bug. But anyway. So, as you can see, you can add up to 2 more layers onto that. It works pretty cool. You can come in here and adjust the sounds. You can drag in your own samples as well. And then you have the option to drag and drop the MIDI, or you can drag and drop the audio, and you can either do it combined, or you can separate it out into stems. If I was looking to edit the patterns, I'd probably drag out all the MIDI, and I would just load up my own sounds in the channel rack and do it that way. But for me personally, this isn't a plugin I would use because the drums is my favorite thing to do, and having the pattern just be generated for you is not something that really appeals to me at all. So while it does do a pretty good job, it would take the fun out of producing for me. This isn't something that I would want to use. The only use case I would maybe use this for would be like if I just made a loop and I wasn't sure the direction I wanted to go with the drums. Maybe I wanted to decide if I was going with the hip hop route or if I wanted to do a drill route. I could switch up those 2 styles and generate those 2 different drum patterns really quickly and get a kind of feel if that's what it's going to sound best as, and then build it myself from there. Or maybe I just pull like a hi-hat loop out of this or something if I'm wanting something real quick. But to do the full drums and just to take that pattern and use that, that's not something that appeals to me. However, even though it doesn't appeal to me, I can see loop makers wanting to use this. If you don't really like to do drums and you just want to see what your loop sounds like with drums on it, this could be a really good tool. So I'm going to put this in the B tier. It could slide into the A tier. Like quality wise, I think A tier. As far as if I would use it like in a beat or something, I don't know. Just feels like it does a little bit too much for you. You know what? I'll leave it in the A tier. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good plugin. I'll put it in the A tier. But let's move on to the next one. The next plugin is the MIDI Wizard, and this is similar to the other generating plugins that they have. You pick your style, you pick the key, and then you can pick whether you want just chords, you want just melody, or if you want a hybrid, and then 4 bars or 8 bars. So, chords, it's really just like Chord Genie. I don't really You know, you can do full chords, you can do rhythm chords. That's something a little bit different, I guess. Melodies, you can choose a lead or a pluck. Let's just do a pluck. We'll generate that real quick. And then here you can change the chords again. So you change the sound. Oh. So I don't know. This one really seemed like a pile of hot dookie to me, honestly. I don't really like the melodies that it comes up with. They kind of just suck. I'm gonna keep it real. I never got a good generation out of this. I don't know, man. The sound's not that great. Let's just try drill one. Let's see what we get here. It sounds terrible. Like, let's get rid of drum monkey in case the drums are throwing us off, but and if we do a hybrid, it's going to be even worse. Like, these melodies are just like the most basic garbage I've heard. It's not gonna like even inspire you to make anything, in my opinion. For me, this one was absolutely terrible, and it's going straight into the F tier with Bass Dragon. So our last plugin on the list is the Unison Unicent, and this was the one that I had the most hope for. Like, if one was going to be good, this was the one I wanted to be really good, because it generates your sounds. Like if you're using Serum or something, it creates a new preset for you. So again, you get to choose your genre, and then you can choose your type, whether you want an 808, bass, chord, lead, pad, or pluck. Let's just go with the chord for now. And then we can kind of just play this. I don't know how that's a chord. Let's try another one. One more. So it generates stuff. Are they the best sounds? No, I don't think they're exceptionally good sounds. Do you have the ability to do quite a bit of manipulation down here? Yes, but it's not the easiest setup to use, in my opinion. I would much rather use Serum or Pigments to do my sound design. If this got you to a better starting point, whereas like the sound is almost there and you just had to do a little bit of tweaking to make it sound good, this could be really cool, but there's a few issues I have with it. First of all, I don't think the sound quality is that great. Comparing to Serum or Pigments, I think they make better quality sounds, just in general. But also, you have like no idea what is about to come out of this. Like, this is a lead. Next one. The next one. So yeah, they're all lead sounds, but you can't really go any deeper than that on what you're trying to create. So you're kind of just creating random leads, pads, chords, plucks, whichever one you pick. You don't have the choice of saying, I want an ambient lead, or I want an ambient pad, or I want a pulsing pad, or, so you can't add like any specifiers to say like, this is the type of lead I want, or this is the type of pad I want. So you just have to kind of generate until you magically land on one that's close to what you're trying to get to. And at that point, you would have been better off just picking a preset that was close to what you were wanting in Analog Lab, Serum, Pigments, and then adjusting that preset from there. That workflow is going to be better and faster, get you better results than using this. So as far as like time saving or anything like that, this isn't going to save you any time. If you're just like wanting to mess around and you're fine just getting some random preset that you then have to figure out how to make it work, maybe that's something that intrigues you. But for me, I don't see a benefit to using this over a Serum or Pigments or any other VST where I can just go in and edit my presets and make them the way I want them to be. There's no point in me generating a preset in here and having to go through all the steps of synthesizing something when I could find a better starting point in a different VST. And for that reason, I'm going to put it in the D tier. Is it, terrible? No. Could you use it? Yes. But to me, it's like, what's the point? I also reviewed their Sound Doctor plugin, and I wasn't impressed by that either. It would have been a C or D tier, probably D tier. I would rather just go with ToneFlex. If you want to see what that's all about, click this video up here for a review, or click this video over here if you just want to see me cook up with it.